Let your voice be heard. Tune into Vikings Fan Line following every Vikings game. Nordo's there, Ron Johnson's there, I'm there, and it's all presented by the Minnesota Lottery. Listen in right here on KFAN or anywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Who's not there or not here?
Let me take a guess. Lavelle Neal III.
Yeah, it's all good. It's always love with Lavelle. He's going to be here at some point. I think he's got key card access. He can just he can stroll on in when he so chooses. I've a bunch of texts to the text line like, "Hey, why not bring Robert Saleh in as a defensive assistant?" Or, hey, if B-Flow gets a call to the big chair a year from now, why don't you bring in Saleh? In a similar vein to, should we re-up Sam Darnold? Hey, what's up, Lavelle? Lavelle Neal III, Star Tribune columnist. I think we're getting a little ahead of our skis here. First of all, why would we bring in Robert Saleh as a defensive assistant? We have B-Flow.
Right.
And I'm not ready to think about life after Brian. And we've talked a little bit about the head coaching situation, ongoing lawsuit. And in some ways, I think he's probably he's like on timeout. And at some point, that punitive situation will end and Flores will likely get another chance. Is it because he's a defensive-minded head coach? All of those things. How you doing, Lavelle?
Who wants Robert Saleh here?
No, it's just he was fired from the Jets this morning. So
I get that.
But the Rubes out there are already, they love this defense, Lavelle. They love it. I love it, as a matter of fact. Yards a little concerning, specifically passing yards, but teams are playing a lot of catch-up these days because the offense is just crushing them out of the gates. But top 5 scoring defense, top 5 scoring offense, et cetera, you get all that. But Rubes are thinking about life after B-Flow. They're worried about it. You clearly are not worried about it, but Saleh, albeit things went sour in New York, they're thinking about next year already.
This is the most Minnesota sports thing ever.
It is.
You've got it good right now. You're rolling. You've got
just enjoy it.
Defensive coordinator of the year.
You're an enjoy the ride guy.
You're finding something to be worried about. Why can't you enjoy the moment? Your squad's undefeated. I was actually looking for the 16-0 T-shirt someone gave me a few years ago to see if I still had it in my closet. I'm still looking for it. Why do you do this to yourselves? Why are you tormenting yourselves with these thoughts?
Well, the problem with the
and if B-Flow leaves, it's a good chance that Durante is going to be the new defensive coordinator, the defensive backs coach, Durante Jones.
I like Durante a lot, by the way. And Durante, along with Flores, Durante's had a little bit of say in some of these names that we see popping up in purple. And from a scouting perspective, from a personnel standpoint, Durante's been fantastic. I got to get this out of the way here, Lavelle. It's not about getting it out of the way, but Allery's Bar is why you are here on a weekly basis.
Correct.
And Allery's Bar is in downtown St. Paul. It's your home of free parking and Minnesota Wild shuttles. Was it kegs and eggs for you on Sunday watching the game at Allery's?
It was open. I did not go for the breakfast there. I went someplace else to watch the game, but I did go there afterwards to watch the Bears game and saw that they had a really good looking breakfast menu prepared for the day, and they will duplicate that this Sunday when they play in London against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The other thing about Allery's too is it is now open for lunch. The PD's Texas barbecue is being received very well to the point where they have decided to be open for lunch. So at 11 o'clock during the week, Allery's will be open for you to get your barbecue on. And how many places in downtown St. Paul offer barbecue?
I love Allery's. And I'm glad that they bring you here with us weekly. But you didn't watch it kegs and egg style at Allery's. What did you think of the game? What do you think of the 5-0 Vikings?
I thought that Van Ginkel may be one of the greatest acquisitions ever. I thought there was a difference in how their offensive consistency was affected by Aaron Jones' departure. Things kind of went haywire after that. I hope he's okay. I hope he'll be ready to go after the bye week. So, Sam is Sam, definitely improved. Is he elite? Not sure yet, but he's definitely improved. I got to see how he goes through this the rest of the season, see some other top defenses. But, man, the defense is a monster. Quarterbacks are seeing ghosts out there. People are pretending to rush and drop back in coverage. It's a beautiful thing to watch. It's great to watch when a team can play some ass-kicking defense, man.
It is.
And that's what the Vikes are doing right now. So, and they get to enjoy a bye week, and then do they have the Lions coming out of the bye?
Lions out of the bye.
There we go.
12 days from today.
So that's what Vikings fans should be focused on. The Motor City Kitties, not Robert Saleh, who probably doesn't even want to get another job this quickly after getting canned. He's probably going to go to Martinique or something and watch the waves crash and ponder his next career move.
Like the mailman just texted me, civil servant, Johnny. And he's right, Eastsider. He's going to sit on his couch and make millions of dollars and not do anything, and then be the most sought-after coordinator candidate. It's important to note, fairness in text line, as PA would say, FITA, Fairness in Text Line Act. It was a couple of text messages, people asking. This wasn't like this cacophony, this massive din, this tidal wave of "we want Saleh." It was a couple of texters, a couple of Vikings loving fans who were just curious about it. Let me throw this past you. You mentioned Sam, and that was my conversation with Charch to open the show. Charch put it as he cooled down a little bit. It was a tough day for him. Sub 50% pass completion percentage. Threw the pick. It was a bad throw, and no touchdowns for him. So with all of that said, when you're putting like arbitrary percentages on things, which is tough, you think about the defenses that the Vikings have had to go through in 2024. You open up at the Giants with that defensive front. They get the QBs. The Niners defense, we know it. No Greenlaw, but still quite formidable. Then we're talking about the Texans defensive front, which is pretty damn good. You got Will Anderson. You have Daniil Hunter. And then you go to Lambeau, and then we know what the Jets presented. Can you put an arbitrary percentage on this and say, well, Sam missed some throws, had a terrible interception, but also the Jets, they get to play the games too. They get to improve their run defense. They get to have an awesome pair of corners that, frankly, when Sauce was out, Sauce Gardner, we didn't take advantage of that. There were a couple of missed opportunities that would have been long scores. Is there an arbitrary percentage you could put on, well, the Jets defense in London, neutral site, like they're pretty damn good. We have to respect that and understand maybe that it wasn't a 304 touchdown type of opportunity.
I don't have the Vikings season stats in front of me, but was this the most pressure Sam has faced in 5 games? I gotta believe it was the most. I gotta believe it's the most sacks that he's taken this year thus far. Yeah, I can look at that in a second here. No, I mean I think it's a feather in the offense's cap for winning a game in which they were facing a pretty solid defense. We didn't know that was going to lead to the coach getting fired, but that's what happens when you have general manager Aaron Rodgers on the team. Yeah, if he doesn't like you, you're going to be out. So,
Sam's taken 4 sacks in 3 of the 5 games. Against the Niners, Texans. I don't have the pressure rate, so that's merely just an individual. That's a singular stat there. So there's more to it, but he was under pressure. Yeah, that's what I thought. So no, you still take credit for what they've accomplished, man. I thought the first half was outstanding. I thought they looked really good through the first half, and then you saw how things changed when Jones left the game. I wrote about this before the season opener that. Justin Jefferson by far is one of the best players in the NFL. Yeah. But I thought when it came to importance to an offense, I thought that Aaron Jones's importance was even greater. You wrote that.
I did write that.
Star Tribune, StarTribune.com.
Correct. Just because everything Aaron Jones has done in his career, the reliability, the running game to take pressure off for Sam. Yeah. The running game actually helps JJ. So, I just think that was a heck of an addition on offense as well. Van Ginkel and Jones are just 2 great additions for their squad.
Van Ginkel is unbelievable.
He had a good offseason.
Well, it was a measured spending spree. He accomplished. I mean, the team is still one of the older in the NFL. I think it's like the 4th or 5th oldest team in totality in the league, but You got a little bit younger on defense. You certainly opened up some dollars, which is a key. I mean, this is like a 15-year conversation of pennies and dimes and couch cushions trying to find money for the Colecchio Semele's of the world, the wanted, highly touted offseason free agent targets. And he really nailed it. I mean, you can't name a player that he's added to the team that hasn't either splashed at some point. Cashman's had his game. Van Ginkel, Grenard found his sacks at a trio of them against the Texans. All these guys are making plays.
The other thing, too, is that he listened to his defensive coordinator and got the guys that he wanted, which has not been the case in other years.
Yeah.
So
correct.
He let B-Flow bring on the talent that he wanted, and that allows B to flow.
Let me do this. We're going to pause and get back on track with breaks because I didn't know when building maintenance was going to get you out of the elevator finally because you've been stuck in there for nearly an hour.
It got kind of musty in there.
I bet it did. I've been in there. It's not great. But we're going to return, continue this conversation. I also want to hit it's Lynx Game 5 tonight. Gophers massive win at the bank, the Huntington Bank Stadium on Saturday night with USC in town. A lot to talk about. Playoff baseball in the mix. It's Lavelle, Neal III, Star Tribune, in studio with me, Nordo. It's the Fan.
Fan.
Inflation Vacation is back on KFAN. We have 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. That's every hour from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. To enter the keywords and learn more, head to KFAN.com. Inflation Vacation is powered by 2 men and a truck.
Welcome back, 9 to noon. Lavelle, Neal III, courtesy of Allery's, which is in downtown St. Paul. And it's your home for free parking and wild shuttles. We love that. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Allery's. Lavelle, your Bears, and in particular your quarterback, you finally had that blow-up game. I thought it was going to happen a week ago against the Rams. And let's just, it was against the Panthers. But your guy Caleb, he's figuring it out, Lavelle. Everyone's on, Jaden Daniels' jock right now, and for good reason. He's been fantastic. But Caleb's coming around, my friend.
Well, I wrote about before training camp opened was that I thought that Caleb was in a tough situation because of the infrastructure around him, because there were questions about the offensive line going into camp, which is.
It's as bad as it gets in Chicago for that.
They've played better the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
Shane Waldron trying to figure out what Caleb can do and can't do. Making sure the other offensive players are in the mix. And I just thought that J.J. McCarthy was in a better situation because he didn't have to come in and start right away for a desperate franchise who's never had a good quarterback. And in a season which there were, regardless if it's legitimate or not, but there were expectations of being a playoff team in Chicago. So it was always a lot for a rookie to come in and have to deal with. Jaden Daniels had nothing, no pressure with him. Here are the keys, but no one expects us to do anything this year.
He kind of got to live a quiet existence out there. Yeah.
They traded a receiver and drafted. Was it Lad McConkey? Is that who they drafted? I think. They moved on to receivers, got younger. I was like. No one expects the Washington Commanders to make a run this year, but they might.
McConkey?
Right?
Well, McConkey's on the Chargers.
Okay. Who am I thinking of then? There was another
because they got rid of Jahan Dotson. They sent him,
and they got a rookie in the other. Who
did they draft?
Yeah.
No, but you're right. They got to live under the cover of darkness. Lavelle. I was talking with Max earlier. I never really made the connection. Cliff Kingsbury. Didn't work out as a head coach, but he's a damn good offensive mind.
Correct.
And if you're thinking about situations to fall into as a rookie quarterback, Waldron, I don't have his entire history, but I would look at Kingsbury as being a guy that could certainly utilize the mobility and the pure arm talent of one of these guys, in this case, Jaden.
Well, Waldron, did a solid job in Seattle. He made Geno Smith a capable quarterback, so a lot of people thought this would be a good fit. I know there was something a couple weeks ago about the veterans talking to Waldron about would you please get mad at us? Would you please coach us hard, a little harder? Please be more demanding. And I guess he has. And it's clicked a little bit. So there's more synchronization. There's better communication. Some of it's on Caleb too. Getting the play calls in from the sideline was an issue. And then so he could communicate it to the line and look and see what adjustments he has to make in terms of protection. All that stuff was kind of shaky first couple weeks. But his passer rating's gone up nearly every week of this season. And his 126 rating on Sunday was the highest by a Bears rookie quarterback since 1970.
Really?
It was something like that. So it was a windy day at Soldier Field. His first pass was almost picked off because it got knocked down by the wind. But he adjusted. He adjusted to the wind and made some nice plays. And I was reading something too. 3 of his last 4 touchdown passes, because UNPA like harping on this all the time. You did it with Trubisky. You did it with Justin Fields about the one-read quarterback. 3 of his last 4 touchdown passes were not to the first option.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if the host was here, he would say he's got a swivel.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a swivel. So handling school's going well for Caleb. Is he a finished product? Absolutely not. And the Bears have had a very favorable schedule. I mean, we got a chance of being 6-3, 7-2 going into the conference schedule, bring a college football term.
Yeah.
Because it's like we got non-conference right now.
Oh, yeah.
And then week 11, we start playing with NFC North opponents. So that we go from non-conference into conference. The Bears could be 6-3. They've got Jacksonville. Then they
do have the Commanders.
The Commanders, which will be the Ricky Bowl.
That's going to be fun.
Then the Cardinals, and then New England. And Drake May may be starting by then.
Yeah. Well, Drake May is starting, I believe. I think they're moving to Drake
this week.
I think so. Yeah,
okay.
Or there's a good chance. So I think the bid's been settled.
They got this 4th place schedule, man. It's going to allow them to get some momentum. Allow Caleb Williams to get some experience looking at defenses before he has to go up against this madman named Brian Flores.
Oh yeah,
so
he's going to be ready.
Yeah, so it should be interesting.
Flores typically feasts on the inexperienced. There's no doubt. How's Rome Odunze doing?
He made early gains. I think he caught. There was a big fight because his first touchdown catch was also Williams' first touchdown pass. So there was a fight over who would get the football. It's a playful fight.
Do we know who won that battle?
No, we don't know. The key has been DJ Moore, because DJ Moore's been open a few times and has not received the ball, and it got to a point where he got a little pouty about it. But
wasn't that week 2 maybe where things felt like they might start unraveling a bit?
Even last week too was an issue because apparently Williams missed him when he was wide open, but now Moore got fed a lot on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And produced. So, and Keenan Allen being back helps because he's the over the middle guy. He's the post up guy. He's the guy who can do all the grunt work underneath and help open things up for Moore and Odunze down the field. Cole Kmet's been very good. There are pieces there. DeAndre Swift, we've had semblance of a running game. It's amazing how when you have a running game, it helps the passing attack.
Is that a committee bit with Rashawn Johnson?
With Khalil Herbert's been marginalized. I'm thinking the Bears going to trade him before the deadline. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, he was on special teams only on Sunday.
Wow.
I know.
That's generally not a good sign.
So you got DeAndre Swift, and Rashawn Johnson has now emerged as the short yardage goal line back.
Okay.
So if you're desperate in fantasy leagues, you could be RB4.
You good for a shorty around the corner?
I'm always good for a shorty.
More with Lavelle. One more short segment around the corner. It is 9 to noon on the Fan.
Head over to our contest page and enter for your chance to win tickets to see the Vikings take on the Lions on October 20th. Thanks to Custom One Exteriors, the official home partner of the Minnesota Vikings. That's KFAN.com, keyword contest to enter.
Lavelle and Neal III in studio. Thanks to Allery's in downtown St. Paul, your home for free parking and wild shuttles. I was just sent this 64686, the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. I don't know who sent it. It's from the 952. That Hall of Fame Red Sox pitcher Louis El Tiante dies at the age of 83. And I asked you if you, well, obviously you'd heard of the name, but but kind of a sad story. 229 wins over a 19-year Major League Baseball career. Sadly, some of our favorite players growing up are getting to that age, Lavelle. But any thoughts or memories on Mr. Tiant?
I'm crushed. Great man, funny guy. I would see him every spring training down in Florida. There's a place called the World Famous Cigar Bar, and he would show up there once in a while, hold court, and we smoke stogies and talk about baseball. Luis and Tony Oliva were really good friends. They would hang out together during spring training, catch up on old times.
Yeah.
So I know his son Danny. Danny was just starting out as a player agent. So and Tiant was a twin. I believe it was 1970. He was a twin for one season. So before going to Boston, becoming the great Tiant. So
yeah, it says here he was with Cleveland, the Twins, and then was that the immediate next stop? He went to the Red Sox?
Yes. Like I think it was a 1-year pit stop here in Minnesota. So I think that's when Tony probably and Luis became friends.
Well, it's really sad news, Lavelle. I'm sorry. Somebody just texted that I didn't know that you had met him and had a relationship with him.
Yeah. I used to talk to him every year in spring training because I'd see him at the cigar lounge. So actually, it was Rocky Patel. There's a Luis Tiant cigar. I think Rocky Patel produces.
Really?
Yes. So I believe it was Rocky Patel. It may be another one, but yeah, El Tiante, man, funny guy. Liked him.
We're losing legends, Lavelle, right? I mean, when you think about we build, these players are unbelievable. They create, generations of children who want to be them. And as these guys keep getting older and older, you're mentioning Tony Oliva, Rod Carew, and some of the, not only the Twins great, but Minnesota sports greats as they get farther and farther up in age. Just always got to keep them in your mind.
Tony's got to be feeling it right now because this is the triple for him now because was it 2-3 months ago, Willie Mays passed away. And Tony was really tight with Willie Mays. I remember I went over to his house to talk to him about Mays, and he was convinced he had a photo of Willie. And we spent an hour going through his entire photograph collection. He's like, there's pictures of Tony Oliva with presidents, okay? And we couldn't find one with him and Willie Mays. There's one with him with Sammy Davis Jr. And I'm like, when'd you meet Sammy? He was literally on the floor in his rec room going through boxes of photos so we could find a Tony Oliva, Willie Mays photo. And the person he was talking to, the person he was talking to get updates on Willie Mays was Orlando Cepeda, who's another one of his really closest friends in baseball.
Wow.
So Willie Mays passes away. And then 8 days later, Orlando Cepeda passes away. So then I had to go talk to Tony about losing Cepeda. And now Luis Tiant's gone. That's 3 in just a span of a few months for Tony.
Well, I'm just going to make, in a lighter news style transition here. Lavelle in studio 9 to noon. The Lynx, Game 5 tonight. The chance to move on to the WNBA Finals.
Yes. They need a response.
And you're going to be at Target Center.
I will be at Target Center.
Foam finger, a towel of some sort.
No, pen, keyboard.
Okay.
Liquid paper. No. Oh, do they still make liquid paper?
Probably, yeah. It was a whiteout, or did you have the sticky thing that you could just kind of unroll? You could apply that way.
Oh, that's for the typewriters, right? Oh no, yeah, I know what you're talking about. You can just draw. Yes, I had one of those too. But remember, with the typewriter, you had the little white slip of paper you would just put down in between the keys, the button and the paper to blot out your typos.
I still can't. I mean, we were talking off air, just the grind of 30 plus games in spring training plus 162 games. You're not getting paid by the word, but the daily gamers. You've been in this business for 3 decades. So,
right.
Now you're writing columns. You're able to dig in a little bit deeper. They give you a little more space on the website, et cetera. But at some point, many, most, if not all, have started out following a baseball team across the freaking country. And at one point, they were writing on typewriters and having to do stuff like that. That's insanity.
Yeah, I think when I first started covering ball, I was using a Radio Shack TRS-80 keyboard.
Oh, yeah.
One where you had to put a plug-in on the side, and you had the phone couplers. You had to make sure the phone was in the couplers perfectly so you could transmit the story.
And you're on working some payphone in the basement of a stadium somewhere?
No, I know. And then the other thing, too, is just research. I mean, we used to have all these research materials with us sport news stats guides and books to look up biographical stuff. And
remember almanacs when almanacs were huge?
Yeah, the Major League Baseball had a red book for the National League and a green book for the American League, so you can contact officials in both leagues. Buster Olney, when he was covering the Baltimore Orioles for the Baltimore Sun, he'd have 2 bags with him. He'd have a bag that has his computer and a bag full of research materials. And this is before everything was on. This is before Baseball Reference and all these, just click on this website and look up stuff.
Yeah,
was available to us. So it's come a long way, man. Since when I first started. But the links, I was worried about the links running out of gas. Cheryl started to dip into her bench a little bit and give Dorka a few minutes. I wonder if it's because of fatigue.
Yeah,
because they hit a wall in that second half. It wasn't just defensively, but I think they only scored 32 points in the second half of Game 4 against Connecticut. And they got to bring the energy, feed off the crowd because the crowd's going to be electric. But I mean, they didn't shoot well from the floor. Bridget Carlton and Kayla McBride combined to go 4-17 from the field, and one of those two have to be hitting. It just didn't work out for them. So I like their chances because they're back at the crib.
Back at the crib,
as we like to say. And I'm sure Max would be there with his wonderful Froham.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, I'll be there. Full lion's mane, just letting it hang out.
Absolutely. So it's going to be a great atmosphere in the press row as well as the court.
When's your next book signing?
October 19th.
October 19th.
10-1 at the Bloomington Armory.
Bloomington Armory?
Yes.
That's perfect. What's the name of the book again?
The franchise, A Curated History of the Minnesota Twins, has been selling very well. Well received. I think I've only got one person who was like, well, I've read these stories before. I said, well, it's a history book. But people have been in, here's the other thing too, Noro. People are now approaching me about the book because they're trying to cross off Christmas shopping list already. So it's not too early.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Take care of your Christmas shopping here by getting a nice little book. It'll look great on the coffee table even if it's not read, or it's something someone will curl up and enjoy reading.
And you always keep 10 to 15 copies in your trunk, so if someone sees you street side at Allery's, you got a book for them, right?
I got a handful in my car right now. My supply was depleted significantly on Saturday. I had a book signing last Saturday in South St. Paul at On the Road Again days, which actually about 15,000 people showed up during the course of the day.
Wow.
So I had a table set up and a lot of people showed. One person bought 5 books for nieces, nephews, and
it's good for the whole family.
Exactly. So
it's good to read. It's good for a coffee table. It's good for the back of a basement toilet.
If you can't find me, it's available on Amazon and on BarnesandNoble.com. And check some local bookstores too, not just Barnes and Nobles in town. Some of the smaller bookstores in town have it as well.
Hardcover?
Yes.
Okay. When's the paperback edition coming out?
There's the edition. There's the edition. I think there's one for Kindle. I don't know if there's an audiobook yet. Because I would have. Are
you as a reader and a career writer? Are you into ebooks? I still like the
book.
The book, right?
Yes.
And I'm only 39. I'm not complete NIMBY yet, but I just need the physical book. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm more of a book person, but I know a lot of people who love their Kindle. They love reading on Kindle, and because they can sit the tablet right by the bedstand, and it's there for them. You don't have to worry about bookmarks or anything like that. So,
all right.
It's to each their own, man.
To each their own. At Lavelle Neal via Twitter /X. Thanks for hanging out with me, man.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Sorry about the elevator snafu here, but
I'm just glad there wasn't like a bathroom situation or anything, because I know you get stuck in those things for a long time. You start to get nervous, and who knows how the body reacts to it.
That's the second time I got stuck in the elevator. The other time was at Yankee Stadium before Game 1 of a postseason series between the Yankees and Twins. The elevator operator kept hitting the close button so many times that all of a sudden it just got jammed.
Yeah.
And it's like 8 of us. I don't want to say 8 of us. Probably 6 of us on the elevator. And one person automatically is already panicking. All right?
Correct.
Joe Christensen was in the media room. So I said, Joe, I'm stuck. The elevator's stuck. I'm in here. Can you ask Gardy about Denard Span's development? So I didn't hear about this after I got out of the elevator and got into the room.
So people mostly were concerned about how do we get in touch with maintenance? Is there like a phone number in the little door? Is somebody, who's going to hit the little the ring the bell bit? And you were it's all business all the time with you.
So anyway, Joe raises his hand. He goes, Guardy, Lavelle's stuck in the elevator, but he has a question. Guardy goes, Lavelle's stuck in the elevator? And he goes, I hope they're serving breakfast in that elevator.
Oh, that's amazing. Hell yes. Thanks, brother. Have a good week and get those books. But weekly guest courtesy of Allery's, home of free parking and wild shuttles. Final hour around the corner. We transition to maroon and gold with Ryan Burns. Go for Illustrated next.